Namaste. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be across the planet, around the world. My name's Gregg Prescott from in5d.com and in5d.net, and welcome to another version of Behind the Matrix, episode number 2, to be exact. Today is July 4th here in the United States. It's our day of independence. I'm going to be talking a little about that when I talk about time travelers. I posted an interesting article on in5d.com yesterday in relation to our Independence Day and this mysterious person who, to this day, we have no idea who this person is, but came in with much gravity weighing in on the situation, the importance of our Declaration of Independence and subsequently our Constitution and our Bill of Rights, which inevitably will be a template, I believe, for the rest of the world until we can finally move into the next stage of spiritual progression. You'll probably hear some thunder going on. I just checked weather.com, the radar. It doesn't look like there's much going on, but that's the way it is here in Florida. It'll start out as like one little tiny cell and then just expand, and next thing you know, you got rain all over. And that's what it is going on right now here in Sarasota. So how are you guys doing? I don't know. Is there any other celebrations going on July 4th outside of the United States? Did you hear that? If I get knocked off, I'll be back. I probably have to redo the whole thing. All right. So hi to everyone that's joining me. Coxine was first in from Switzerland. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, excuse me. Greetings from New York, says Butch Brown. I got banned off Twitter. Oh, man. How is that possible? I thought, with Elon there, I thought we could say, and I thought there was free speech once again. Apparently not, huh? Well, that sucks. I'm sorry about that, Butch. Hi to Higher Ashanti. Whoop, whoop. Looking forward to the show. Kind Spirit 1111. Thank you for joining us. And I appreciate you guys putting where you're from in the chat, because that way you guys can make connections with each other. And who knows, you might find somebody in your own hometown. So Coxine says it's 9 p.m. there in Switzerland. I'm not sure what the CH means. It looks like China, but you said you're from Switzerland, so Vaporama. I time travel. I had a dream about that. I'll talk about a little later. I Miss America. Hi, and thank you for joining us from Southwest Florida. We're neighbors. Hi to Wes Emerson. Thank you for joining us. Got the notification. All right. I think things are changing here. We're starting to reach more people. I think they're gradually lifting the ban, but what they're still doing, I noticed, is unsubscribing people. Still getting people telling me, "Hey, man, I've been subscribed to you," and they unsubscribe me, or I've been told that people are getting their bell notifications shut off. So, it's a badge of honor. Just like Butch Brown, getting banned off of Twitter. Dude, you got banned for the right reasons. I guarantee it. You were telling the truth, right? So, where are we at? Wes saying that he got the notification. That's awesome. Glad to see that. Hi to Suzanne Marcella from the Mojave Desert in California. Yeah, thunder and lightning there every night. Phoenix, Arizona, in the house, in the hizzle. Energetic soul healer. Thank you for joining us. Susan from Arkansas, Ozark Mountains, where they have a ton of beautiful quartz crystals there. Checking in from South Africa is Tony. Hey, thanks for joining us, brother. And Ronald from Central Florida. Ron, hi, neighbor. All right. Nancy from Arizona. Ronald Ganesh. Howdy, neighbors. Trina from the UK. Maria from Portugal. I love this. I'm totally digging. Rita from Norway. This is why, folks, I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be across the planet, around the world. Because we're bringing in so many people from all over the world. And each one of you is that beacon of light. If you envision each one of us just holding a candle or illuminating light toward the sky, you know, we're basically lighting up the planet. It's a beautiful thing. So, yeah, I'm going to jump right into it because we have a lot to cover today. So, without further ado, let's get into the screen share mode. And here we go. And yeah, first of all, if you haven't already, most of you have, but be sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification, so you'll be notified of amazing videos that come out. Yesterday, my beautiful wife did a free tutorial on the Light Seers tarot cards, 2 hours and 22 minutes and 55 seconds worth of wonderful, amazing information by the gifted Allison Prescott, Psychic Allie. Yeah, she's been doing this for like 35 years. She knows the tarot inside and out. So it's almost like a free class right there. And it is definitely a free tutorial class on this particular, the Light Seers tarot card deck. And you can also see Allie and Kara doing readings yesterday. So check that out. Allie and I do a monthly global prediction as well as a weekly one. And then I just did this a few days ago, Behind the Matrix, where we covered a ton of topics. This is one, if you guys are feeling tired, unexplainably and inexplicably tired, I highly recommend checking out this video, the medical explanations of why you're feeling unusually tired right now. And it will help answer a lot of questions because trust me, folks, you are not alone. Yesterday, oh my God, I slept most of the day. I went to bed early last night, slept until, dig this, I woke up at 11:11 today. So something's happening, and I think it's a good thing. That's a very positive sign, the 11:11. But yeah, you can see like Allie and I have been doing global predictions, all sorts of great videos on here, physical science of the new earth and so on. So definitely, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe because we're putting out a ton of content. It's all free. So yeah, check that out. Okay, so let's jump into it. Okay, so first thing we're looking at, Facebook facing bankruptcy. Company suffered biggest value loss in U.S. history after millions flee platform due to, you know what? Yeah, censorship. We'll say it. So this article is on Prepare for Change. And I will put a link to all these articles in the more info section below. They're not there right now, but I'll put them in. So Facebook is hemorrhaging billions of dollars every single day and losing millions of users due to its overt censorship practices, according to a new report. Meta, formerly known as Facebook, lost a whopping $232 billion, with a capital B, the biggest ever suffered by a U.S. company in a 24-hour period. 24-hour period. That's $10 billion an hour. By the end of April, it had lost another fifth of its value. So what does that tell us? People are sick of the censorship. They're sick of the liberal bullshit that they're pushing, their agenda on people, and basically censoring over everything. What was it? I made a post the other day on Facebook. They censored something from 2012 that I had posted. from 2012, 10 years ago. I posted something. And then all of a sudden, last week they said, well, nope, can't have that anymore. It's good for 10 years, but not now. Crazy. And they're wondering why people are leaving. It's insane, right? So hi to everyone that's joining us here. And I can't catch up with everyone because I'm already way behind on that. But I do appreciate you all being here, and thank you for joining me on this 4th of July here in the United States. Let's get back to the screen share. Is that where it was? Oh, it's right here. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, that was item number 1. Yeah, Facebook facing bankruptcy, $24 million an hour in a 24-hour period. Ugh, insane, right? Okay, moving on. This is interesting. I'm going to have to tippy-toe around this one, to speaking of censorship. So they say that a hidden immune feature may have spared. We've been spared by a hidden immune feature. Boy, this is such a crocker. All right. A hidden immune feature may have spared who, all of you, well, most of you, and me, from this hidden immune feature. My ass may have spared us. Right. It's an antidote in the immune system that we still have. The purebloods, right? Crazy. So a team of researchers from the University of Gothenburg has just taken another step toward understanding how the immune system develops resistance against what. For 6 months, the researchers at the university's Sahlgrenska Academy investigated 156 employees from 5 primary healthcare facilities who were recruited during April and May of 2020. None of these employees had been, against what. So they're basically the control group, right? And the majority of them had to work with infected patients on a daily basis during the height of what. They identified IgA, immunoglobulin A, in the respiratory tracts of several of the personnel who didn't catch what, which could mean they had an antidote in their immune systems all this time. Makes you think, though, all right, how many other people without getting what already had that? Probably most everyone, right? And they really didn't need that to begin with, probably. Now, I got to say the disclaimer. This is all opinion, and this is not medical advice. And this Dr. Fauci, yeah, we'll give him one of these. We'll give him 2 of them, yeah. And a 3rd one, yeah. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, I'm. That astounds me. Of course they're going to come out and say something like that because what's when we're seeing so many people that have had the jab coming down with what, and then so many of us that haven't, they're saying, well, we have this hidden immune feature. Okay. Yeah. I call it common sense. They can call it a hidden immune feature, but I'm not going to take an experimental what that has 0 longitudinal studies on it. I'm not going to be a guinea pig. That's common sense. That's my hidden immune feature. How about you? Moving forward. This is interesting. Russia and China are brewing up a challenge to the US dollar dominance by creating a new reserve currency. That's huge, right? Somebody's challenging the petrodollar, which is dying. It's in its death throes right now. Here in the United States, we have severe hyperinflation. It's crazy. It's getting worse. freaking gas is out of control. I spent $90 on gas filling my tank up a couple weeks ago. Crazy. So Russia and China are developing a new reserve currency with other BRICS countries. I'm not sure if I can say his name. Why not? President Vladimir Putin said the basket currency would rival a U.S.-dominated IMF, International Monetary Fund, alternative and let Russia widen its influence, an analyst said. The dollar's dominance is already eroding, no shit, as central banks diversify into the Chinese yuan and smaller currencies. So something's already in place. And this is what, they're talking about a reset. Here in the United States, we've been hearing a lot about a reset. That reset has a lot to do with CERN, and it's not the reset you're thinking about. But it's really interesting. There is now new competition. And when sleepy resident Joe Biden decided he's going to block oil exports from Russia and cut off the pipeline here, well, he's the one that's responsible for jacking up our gas prices. But he's also he's the impetus for this happening right now. Russia and China challenging the US dollar and reserve currency. They got a ton of gas in Russia. And they're saying, well, all right, US, screw you. And they're putting pressure on the Biden administration, if you want to call it that, into doing something. But it's probably too late. I think this whole Biden residency is nothing good has came out of it. Can anyone name 3 things positive out of the Biden residency? All right, wait. I'll take that back. Just name one, okay? One thing. I'll wait. So, yeah, that's where we're at on that. Now, I'm going to be mailing out some more T-shirts here tomorrow. I just did a bunch of them. But here are, if you go to in5d.net, Quantum Tie-Dye, actually, you just go here, click on the buy 3, get 1 free, because we still have this going on. Just use the code LOVEIN5D at the checkout, and you get whatever buy 3 shirts you want, you get the 4th one free. And that includes the sale shirts. Or you can just go down here to shop now. Either one works to get you onto the shop page. And then here's all of our new shirts. These are new: the solar plexus, the crown chakra, the third eye, and the throat chakra. Those are all new. The Be Beautiful Quantum Tie-Dye. This is the one I'm wearing right now. This is the literal one I'm actually wearing, this picture. I'm wearing this one, Quantum Earth Element. Then we have Interstellar, our in5D lovely daughter, Christina Love, just ordered this one right here. And I threw in, Christine, if you're watching right now, I threw in one of these for you too. I made you a Be Beautiful one as well, just a bonus shirt. I love this one, the Cosmic Lightning. Got lots of amazing new shirts here. Also got a ton on sale. All you got to do is go to the product categories on the right-hand side of the page if you're on a laptop or an iPad. If you're on a cell phone, scroll down until you see product categories, and then just scroll down to the X discounted and choose whatever size. We'll take a look at ladies large. Bam, these are all the ladies large shirts that are on sale right now. And you can see there's a bunch of them, and you can go whatever you're looking for. This lets you know, though, what we actually have in stock right now. So let's go here real quick. Yeah, this, Christine, if you're watching right now, this is the one I made for you, the Quantum Tiger. That's for our moderator, Christina, and I also made you this one as well. And this is the Be Beautiful shirt. So I'm just throwing that in as my appreciation for you being our moderator. And this one is for Tiffany. I had to make that one especially for her. So the first one I accidentally made as a men's shirt. Then I got I got a couple more Be Beautifuls going out, Interstellar, and a Quantum Earth, like the one I'm wearing right now. So these are all going out tomorrow. And I got more outside right now that I've been working on. So those will go out ASAP. So thank you everyone for your orders. And like I said, just go to n5d.net, use the code LOVEN5D at the checkout, and buy 3 get 1 free. It's a great deal, and that includes all sales shirts, any shirts that we have. Okay, moving forward. Okay, got tons of stuff to cover here. And once again, please hit that subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Hit the bell notifications. Give us a thumbs up too. Cost you nothing to give us a thumbs up. You know, and it helps with the algorithms, especially also sharing helps magnanimously. So please, 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 you know how heavily shadow banned N5D is, as probably many of you are as well. But really, you know, to get this information out there, this is really important, especially what I'm going to be covering on CERN right now. So please share this on your social networks. Check this out. Now, I found this meme and I posted it on my Gab page. And all you got to, if you're on Gab, add me at N5D. Pretty simple. The CERN Hadron Collider opening stargates. This is interesting. And I wanted to do the research on what all this is claiming. So we're going to do a deep dive on this. And this is going to get really esoterically deep. Okay, so it says CERN is named after Cernunnos, the Celtic lord of hell. Okay, well, what they're saying is that the CERN was actually named, it's known by its French acronym, CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research. I'm still trying to figure out where the acronym is for that. I can see the RN for nuclear, for research nuclear in that particular order. I still don't see this as an acronym. I think that's a bunch of crap that they're feeding us. I don't see that as an acronym. So its headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland, has a statue of Shiva doing the cosmic dance of destruction, right? Well, let's go back to Cernunnos, because that's what they're first talking about. Is named after Cernunnos. I was curious about that. Who is this Cernunnos? And Cernunnos is the Celtic horned god. And let's see what it says. In Celtic mythology, Cernunnos was the horned god who ruled over wild beasts and places. He's most commonly associated with forests, wild animals, fertility, and wealth. Cernunnos is often depicted with prominent stag antlers on his head, and was known as the Lord of the Wild Places, or God of the Wilds. And that sounds all fine and dandy, right? Sounds harmless. Yeah, okay, well, let's dig a little deeper on this. Here's some images of what Cernunnos looks like. The horned. There he is, right there. Kind of like, who does this look like? With the hooved feet and the horns, right? Baphomet. And there he is. And that's what, you know, when you think of these horned deities, who do you think of? Right? Baphomet is one. Pan, the devil, Satan, right? There's all sorts of these horned. I'm trying to think, what's a benevolent horned deity? There probably are some. I don't know. But, you know, another malevolent one would be Moloch, right? They're all over. Yeah, there's a ton of them. Let's go back into this though. Check it out. Once again, thank you everybody for joining me and putting where you're from in the chat. Make sure you connect with each other too. Try to reach out to each other, because we are all family. So yeah, Cernunnos looks a lot like Baphomet, right? at the horns. And he's doing the as above, so below thing here with his hands. Baphomet is an enigmatic goat-headed figure found in several instances in the history of occultism, from the Knights Templar of the Middle Ages and the Freemasons of the 19th century to modern currents of occultism. Baphomet never fails to create controversy. But where does Baphomet originate from? And most importantly, what is the true meaning of this symbolic figure? It's an interesting article that gives you the history of Baphomet and the origins of it, and they go on to say, Cernunnos, once here's that connection to the horned deities. Cernunnos, Pan, we talked about. Hathor would be another one, the devil, right? Baphomet, right? Do they all have a common origin? Yeah, they are strikingly similar to one another. Like half goat and half antlered beast. Here's the devil card from the tarot of Marcellus, 15th century. The card depiction of the devil with its wings, horns, breasts, and hand signal is undoubtedly a major influence in Levi's depiction of Baphomet. So he's doing one up, one down. Right? As above, so below. So check this out. A Baphomet-like figure on the Notre Dame de Paris Cathedral, which was originally built by the Knights Templar. So why would they put somebody like this on there? It's a winged beast with horns and looks like hooved feet, perhaps. This is the one that many of us are familiar with, that we've seen on the internet quite often, right? So let's dig a little bit deeper. Okay, this is another horned deity, right? Moloch, the ancient pagan god of you-know-what. Can't mention that word here. Moloch was one of the false gods that Israel would worship during its periods of, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, apostasy. This false deity is associated with Ammon in Kings 11:7. Then Solomon built a high place for Chemosh, I think, the detestable idol of Moab, on the mountain which is east of Jerusalem, for Moloch, and the detestable idol of the sons of Ammon. And that's probably where Amen came from as well. I'm not going to read this one aloud, but you can read this. Well, I won't read all of it. One of the practices of the cult that worshiped Moloch was to, you know what? Sick. God, that annoys me. And once again, here's a, you know what? The bull god of Moloch and the medical system of all things, right? I'm not going to read this, but I will leave links. This is interesting, though. The bull god's name was Moloch. This is where we get the phrases holy moly and holy smoke. Have you ever caught yourself saying either of these statements, these phrases? Holy moly, holy smoke. Guess what? Yeah, that's the origin. It's sick. So let's move on. So Shiva is this deity that's in front of, here it is. And they talk about that in here. Shiva is this deity that's in front of CERN, and Shiva's doing this cosmic dance of destruction. Let's take a peek into this. Shiva is the Hindu avatar that parallels Nimrod, and I'll get into that in a minute. But what is the cosmic dance of Shiva. Now, this is what you'll see in front of CERN in Geneva, Switzerland. Shiva doing Shiva's dance, right? One of the unbelievable stories inquisitively says that the cosmic dance of Shiva created the universe, and a comparable dance and a substitute construction can destroy it with wildfire as well. What happens when Shiva does the cosmic dance? Shiva dances in Rudra Tandava, excuse me for my pronunciation, or the dance of destruction in the aureole of fire. Aureole? I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Aureole? Creating wild thunderstorms all around the universe, even shattering the sun. This is the entity that's in front of CERN. This is the dance that Shiva's doing, creating wild thunderstorms all around the universe, even shattering the sun, the moon, and stellar bodies with his matted hair, marks of ash on the forehead, the mark of the beast, would that be perhaps? Trident, drum, lifting his leg and balancing over a demon of ignorance. Now, they want us to believe that, here's the story we're being told, is that Shiva was a gift from India. Well, I'm sure Shiva was a gift from India, but why would Shiva be a gift from India? And what is the objective for placing this deity in front of the CERN Hadron Collider, right? What is it they're trying to manifest from this? And we'll get into all this here in a second. Excuse me while I take a sip of water. Thank you. All right. Hi to everyone that's joining us. Thank you so much for being here on July 4th as well. We got a lot to cover. I'm going to jump right back into it. Got so many people here. Thank you for all being here right now. I see UFO Mark has joined us, and UFO Mark, I'm going to be sending you a shirt as well. That be beautiful. Thank you for all the times you moderate here and post all the links and everything. You're just one of the best moderators we've ever had. You and Christina are just amazing, and all of our moderators are just fantastic. So thank you to everybody that's moderating for us here at N5D and on my lovely wife's Psychic Alley page as well. So let's go back and jump back into this. We got a lot to cover. Let's go check it out. Okay. Why is Shiva so important? Who is Shiva, and why is Lord Shiva a supreme identity, great God, among all of the Hindu gods? In Hindu mythology, Lord Shiva is widely called the destroyer among the Holy Trinity that includes Brahma and Vishnu. Shiva is worshipped as the supreme wisdom in Hinduism. Vishnu is the protector of the universe, whereas Brahma has been its creator. Shiva's job is to annihilate the universe. Hindus believe that his destruction and ultimate recreation powers are still being used presently to destroy the world's myths and faults, clearing the way for a brighter future. Let's read that again. Hindus believe that his destruction and ultimate recreation powers are still being used presently to destroy the world's myths and faults. Crazy. And it's pure insanity. Why they would have Shiva outside of CERN. So, okay, the cosmic dance of Shiva. Let's go back into looking into what this dance is, because this is what Shiva's doing outside of CERN, this cosmic dance of destruction. The dance of Shiva is called Tandava, and please forgive me if I'm not pronouncing this correctly. I'm just doing it phonetically. Typically, it is associated with the destructive aspect of creation. Why would you want that in front of CERN? However, the dance of Shiva simultaneously ends one cycle of the cosmos and lays the seed for the creation of a new one. This is what I was talking about a reset. When we were talking about the Russia and the global currency, we keep hearing these keywords that get pushed around. And this is probably one of the things that, I'd be curious that, Cliff High, the web bot, how words get used around the internet. This is one of those words, reset, that we keep hearing over and over and over again, right? It's not a financial reset. It's a reset of us. We are the currency. We are the currency. That's, if you look into Admiralty law and maritime law, we are the current. We are the currency. That's why we are birthed by a dock, as in a dock tour. You go, a boat goes to a dock tour. And so it's fascinating to look into, but that's another show that we are the currency that they're talking about here. So let's move onward. So, yeah. Typically, Shiva's dance is associated with the destructive aspect of creation. However, the dance of Shiva simultaneously ends one cycle of the cosmos and lays the seed for the creation of a new one. Right? There's your reset. That's what they're pushing. That's why Shiva's out in front of CERN. They're turning CERN up to a point tomorrow that's never been reached before. This is a level so high it's never been seen before. They don't know what the hell's going to happen. It's like the damn jab that people are giving. That they're all experimental jabs, and whoever's taken, there's zero longitudinal studies. If you've taken the jab, you are the longitudinal study. There's no studies on CERN on what's going to happen. There's so many hypotheses out there about what could happen. We've seen physicists talk about black holes, many black holes opening when these atoms are being smashed together. What's going to happen on a larger scale? Will it create a black hole large enough to suck us back into it, to end creation? This isn't a good thing. And I highly recommend that we all get together sometime before this gets officially launched on July 5th and do some heavy meditating and protect ourselves, our planet, universe, and the multiverse on this. This is very, very serious. So, where were we? Yeah, it's all about we are the currency. We are the ones that are basically, we are the reset. It's bullshit. And we're not going to let it happen. Okay, so. Uh-oh. There we go. Yeah. Let's go back to here on the screen share. Thank you for bearing with me while I got temporarily lost on screen shares. All right, so what's the significance of this cosmic dance of Shiva? Well, I'd say that pretty much is the significance of it, but let's take a look into this because there is deeper meanings here. So the circle of fire, which is around Shiva right there, right? That denotes the cycle of life, which consumes and creates everything. The Tandava is of destruction. Shiva is calm and smiling. His supreme tranquility amidst continuous creation and destruction is to maintain universal equilibrium. His three eyes symbolize the three guanas, sattva, rajas, and tamas. I'm not sure what the hell that means. His upper right hand holds a damru, a drum shaped like an hourglass. It symbolizes rhythm or time. And also, we're going to be talking about this too, Saturn. And Saturn worshiping, the cult of El. We'll be getting into this shortly. But that symbolizes rhythm or time. That's what Saturn represents, time. The upper left arm holds a fire, which symbolizes the force of energy. Cobra snakes coil down from the right lower arm, while the palm is in, I'm not even going to pronounce that, that, that particular mudra, meaning refuge or the removal of fear in Sanskrit. It symbolizes fearlessness towards negative or evil energies. I think they think we're the evil ones, the negative or evil energies, because wait till you see what gets unleashed. And we'll be getting into that shortly. The front left hand is across the chest of the Gaja Hasta, the elephant trunk pose, with the wrist limp and the fingers pointed downward toward the uplifted foot. His uplifted left foot grants eternal bliss to those who approach him. The other foot treads firmly upon the dwarf of ignorance, allowing the birth of knowledge. He dances above the body of the dwarf demon, Esparmera, whom he keeps in check but has not killed. Esparmera indicates some of our negativities that can't be removed entirely but can only be kept in check with mindfulness. For example, lust is a biological need, so we can't remove it entirely, but we can keep it in check. Pasmera also indicates that nothing is right or wrong, and it all depends on how we use something. Hence, he represents all that all teachings of right and wrong are also ignorance in some form. Shiva is also called Natesa, which means the god of dance in this role. Traditionally, dancers of all other creative artists pray to this form before starting any of their creativity. It gets much, much, much deeper, almost unbelievably deeper. So bear with me here. I got my notes in front of me. I just got to find out where I'm at on my notes. Okay. What they're saying is that Shiva and Nimrod are the same person. So in the Bible, Nimrod, who's Noah's great grandson, is known as the great hunter, and he rebelled against the Lord. And many believe that he built the Tower of Babel, and that's why we have this right here. What was the Tower of Babel? So the Tower of Babel, plain and simple, was an act of rebellion against God. If Shiva and Nimrod are the same, Shiva is rebelling against our creator, source, or if you want to call him God. That's what that represents. This is interesting right here. What did the Tower of Babel mean spiritually? The Tower of Babel, plain and simple, was an act of rebellion against God. Josephus, a historian, points to one of the main reasons that Nimrod ordered, aka Shiva, ordered the construction of the Tower of Babel was to create a structure tall enough to withstand another worldwide flood, like the one seen in Genesis. Nimrod appeared to have forgotten the purpose of the flood in the first place. God sent a worldwide flood because the earth's vast wickedness and depravity. In a way, Nimrod shakes his fist at God, saying, I'll create a structure so high that even you can't destroy me. He tries to equate himself with God. And now Shiva's doing something similar, not necessarily challenging God, but playing God and hoping to avoid the wrath of God. As I mentioned, we were talking about the cult of El, Saturn, and these horned deities. We're talking about Father Time. It all ties in, right? And this is in an article on N5D Saturn. Why are we worshiping the cult of El on N5D.com? Did you ever wonder, is it possible that the reality we experience has been hijacked by the creator gods who keep us living in subservience, control, and conformity? Why do we look forward to the weekend when we are weakened? Why does the word Saturday mean Saturn's day? Why do we exchange rings when we marry? Why is there so much Saturn symbolism in religion and in the corporate world? So Saturn is named after the Roman god Saturnus. It's not a coincidence that Saturn is called the Lord of the Rings. There's some really interesting quotes in here. Elohim refers to gods and goddesses, and in a singular form, El, and Jordan Maxwell talks about this. El means God, Ohim means plural. So the Elohim are the creator gods, the demigods that came down. And I believe that would be, the Elohim would be considered God in the Bible. They're not, to me, they're not creator source. And that's all subjective. Use your own discernment. But that's through my research. Yeah, the God in the Bible is a demigod. He's not really creator source. And its singular form is El, and serves as a prefix or suffix to names of gods, people, and places. Whence, for example, Emmanuel, Gabriel, Bethel, even Satan was one of the Elohim. It goes on to say, Jordan Maxwell said that's why today when you get married before God, and the symbol of God is the ring that is put on each other's fingers, the ring of Saturn. In the marriage phrases, one also begins to see what that has to do with Saturn. So we know that Saturn in astrotheology is Satan, the cult of El. So who are we really giving our energy to? Michael Tsarian talks about Saturn. The ancient name Saturn was, as mentioned, El. It is the reason why those who were chosen by El were called elites. See that L right there? E-L, elites. In fact, the words elect, elder, elevated, Elohim, temp El, circle, gospel, apostle, disciple, evangelists, etc., all derive from the cult of El. Angels are messengers of God, but God was El, which is why we have the names of archangels being the El suffix, Raphael, Michael, Uriel, Gabriel, etc. That's from Michael Tsarian. What about Saturday? Why is Saturn Day associated with Saturn worship? The Romans named Saturday De Saturni, Saturn's Day, no later than the 2nd century for the planet Saturn, which controlled the first hour of that day, according to this, Vettius Valens. For Jews, Messianics, and Seventh-day Adventists, the 7th day of the week, also known as Shabbat or Sabbath, stretches from sundown Friday to sundown Saturday and is the day of rest. Roman Catholic and Eastern Orthodox churches distinguish between Saturday Sabbath and the Lord's Day Sunday. So it's interesting that we have Satan's day the day before the sun's day, the day of the sun, right? And I was talking about this earlier before. We're talking about horned deities, right? Similar to Cernunnos. Is that how was that the name that we Cernunnos. Yes, Cernunnos. And we're talking about all these different horned deities. Well, we're going to talk about a couple of them right now. The half-man, half-goat pagan god Pan has been associated with Saturn, while Saturn rules Capricorn. Capricorn is represented by a goat-fish hybrid. And we can see Pan right here. Can you think of another horned deity who's associated with Saturn? Right? Saturn is also, and we were talking about time, right? Saturn is also known as Kronos, aka Father Time. Kronos in Greek mythology was a leader of the youngest of the first generation of Titans, the divine descendants of Uranus, the sky, and Gaia, the earth. He overthrew his father and ruled during the mythological Golden Age until he was overthrown by his own son Zeus and imprisoned in Tartarus. As Father Time, Saturn keeps us locked into linear sequential time. It seems we never have enough time to get everything done, but this is only a myth in the physical existence because as divine souls, our lives are eternal. Never forget that. Santos Bonacci once said one of the most profound things I've ever heard. He said that once the sperm fertilizes the egg, you begin the dying process. You were alive before that. So from the minute that sperm fertilizes the egg, that's the dying process. Everyone watching this, we're all dying. Every day we're all dying. Plain and simple. But you were alive before this. That's the truth. The truth is you never really die. You're eternal. So don't let Father Time and Kronos and all these deities put fear into you. We're all in this together, and we're all going to be fine in the end. Let's go back to our screen share. So on the back of the US $1 bill, you'll find the phrase "Annuit Coeptis Novo Ordo Seclorum," which means agreed to undertakings, a new world, a new order of the ages. While many believe this means new world order, it actually means a new order of the ages. Think about this, right? And we've already determined a lot of this, if Saturn is the cult of El, if the Kabbalah is the cube of God, if Saturn is the Lord of the Rings, if there is a hexagonal cube on the North Pole of Saturn, if Pan is the god of Saturn, if Saturn is Satan in astrotheology, then who are we truly giving our energy to? And look at this. We unknowingly use symbols of Saturn every day. Look at the Capital One, Nike, Saturn, Bud Light. We see the cube technology, or the cube symbolism in Chevron, front cube, Microsoft, of course, with Bill Gates, right? Nintendo. Lots of great videos on this link, too. Jordan Maxwell, may he rest in peace, does a wonderful video on the cult of Saturn. You'll learn so much of it. Jay Wiedner does, too. I could go on and on. There's so much. There's a lot on in this article, but we're going to move on from it right now. Okay, so this is interesting. What they're saying is that Apollyon, and Abaddon are all the same person, right? They're also Shiva. Bear with me on this. They're all the same person. There are several names in the Bible for Satan and his minions. One of these is the Apollyon. And there's different ways of pronouncing this. I looked up the pronunciation, and there's like 4 different ways. And whatever way you pronounce it, that's fine. I'm going to say the Apollyon, which might refer to Satan or to high-ranking demon. The name Apollyon is Greek for Abaddon, right? So now we know that these two are the same, meaning destroyer, which is what Shiva is. We see that the name mentioned in Revelation 9. Oh, yeah, this is going to come into fruition too. Revelation 9:11 of all revelations, right? But in Revelation 9, they had as king over them the angel of the abyss, whose name in Hebrew is Abaddon, and in Greek is Apollyon, that is destroyer. And that's in Revelation 9:11. Right? can't make this shit up. So immediately after the fifth angel blew his trumpet, a star fell from the sky to the earth, Revelation 9:1. That star opened the abyss, Revelation 9:2, unleashing a battalion of demonic soldiers likened to a plague of locusts, Revelation 9:3, resembling horses prepared for battle, Revelation 9:7. By this time, there had already been hail and fire mixed with blood, and it was hurled down onto the earth. A third of the earth was burned up. A third of the trees were burned up. We're seeing that with directed energy weapons, how they can do that instantly. And all the green grass was burned up. Next, something like a huge mountain, all ablaze, was thrown into the sea. A third of the sea turned into blood. A third of the living creatures in the sea died, and a third of the ships were destroyed. That's Revelation 8:7-9. This is the beginning of the end in which Satan and his demonic forces will be unleashed. And this is what they're trying to do with CERN. Replace Satan with Shiva or Apollo or Apollyon, whoever you want to put in there, whichever date, it's the same person, same thing. This is the beginning of the end in which Satan and his demonic forces will be unleashed. He will be permitted to take those who reject Christ as king during the cleansing of the whole earth to make way for a new heaven and new earth. And I don't necessarily agree with that, because I put all my energy and love into Creator Source, who is above the demigod that's in the Bible, that bipolar God that's all loving in one testament and kills everybody in the other one. That God's an idiot. Abaddon appears in some versions of the Old Testament or as destruction in others. So we're seeing that the cult of Apollo. John is making a bold spiritual and political statement in Revelation by referring to both Abaddon, Hebrew, and Apollyon, Greek. The Greek evokes Apollo, a god from whom the Romans worshipped. The cult of Apollo used that symbol of the locust. By naming the destroyer Apollyon with the imagery of locust, John is effectively saying that the Roman Empire is ruled by the forces of hell, because the emperors Caligula, Nero, and Domitian considered themselves to be incarnations of Apollo, who is the same as Apollyon, who's the same as Shiva, right? Who is the destroyer? Who is Shiva? Who is Apollo? Who is Apollyon? One writer says there is no doubt that this is Satan, the devil himself. We've just uncovered a lot of information, and there's still a lot more. You're going down the rabbit hole with me. And sometimes we all need a little kick in the ass. And there is a positive side to this. And it's with our thoughts and intentions, prayers, meditations. We need to get something together before this happens tomorrow, or if you're watching this on July 5th, before the time. We need to find out the official time, GMT, and do a meditation, a global meditation beforehand. I'm going to get back into everything that we've been talking about. And thank you so much, Coxine. Yeah, we still have a lot more to cover. There's so much more. And I hope it's all making sense to you. That if you haven't seen the previous video that I did of Behind the Matrix, check that out, because it'll give you some more insight into CERN. But this is really a deep esoteric dive, something we didn't do on the last one that we're doing on this one. So let's go back into it. It's interesting that I'm hearing thunder outside here. The gods, the gods are rumbling. So once again, Abaddon, Apollyon, or Apollo, right? This is interesting too. Now check this out, because we've determined now that they're all the same as Shiva, right? So here's Shiva. This is the entity basically, because it's being called here as Apollyon. It's the same entity. This is the same entity that's killing a Christian in this, or trying to kill a Christian in this picture. Yeah, this is the deity that's in front of CERN. Why would they want somebody like this associated with Apollyon in front of CERN? It's just pure insanity, right? So Abaddon, Apollyon, or Apollo, the names are all the same, or it's all the same entity. The destroyer, right? He is the Hebrew name for Greek Apollyon, angel of the bottomless pit, as in Revelation 9:10, and in Revelation 9:11. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, or Apollo, or Apollyon, or Shiva. But in the Greek tongue, hath his name Apollyon, right? This is in, of all numbers, Revelations, the end of the Bible. And many of us feel that these are the end times right now. So yeah, this is 9/11 of all verses, right? It's right there in front of you. And please, everybody, please just take a minute, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. It doesn't cost you anything. Share this video wide and far. It needs to get out there to a lot of people before tomorrow. And hit that bell notification. You'll get notified of future videos from M5D. Moving forward, in Revelation 9:1 through 11, Abaddon is described as a personified star who falls to earth from heaven and is given the key to open the bottomless pit. So he's a fallen angel, basically. Abaddon opens the pit, releasing a swarm of locusts. And this is what they're trying to do with CERN. They're trying to open up that. They're trying to create a wormhole, basically, to allow that pit, the bottomless pit, to open. Please research the star system Sirius and the importance of invoking demons and the existence of extraterrestrial beings. Let me grab a little water here. Excuse me. Abaddon is also described in the same passage as the destroyer, which we've clearly identified, the angel of the abyss, and as the king of a plague of locusts resembling horses with crowned human faces, woman's hair, lion's teeth, wings, iron breastplates, and a tail with a scorpion stinger that torments for 5 months anyone who does not have the seal of God on their foreheads. Now, yeah, well, I'm not getting that seal of God on my forehead. I do believe in an all-loving creator source, and that's good enough for me. We all know about how the Bible describes Satan and his soldiers, as we can find in Genesis 3:13. I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and her offspring. He shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel. And here it goes on to here. And this is what I've been saying all along. Abaddon, Apollo, Apollyon. He is also known in the Far East by Shiva. So you can replace Abaddon by saying Shiva. Shiva is the name of a demon in front of CERN, or the devil himself in front of CERN. It's unbelievable, right? According to Mathers, the greater Key of Solomon, and remember some of these books, because I'll be giving you guys a link shortly to find all that stuff free. Abaddon is a name for the angel that Moses invoked to bring down the blighting rain over Egypt. He's also death's dark angel, a reference to Abaddon's hooked wings occurs in Francis Thompson's poem To the English Martyrs. Abaddon has been also identified as the angel of death and destruction, demon of the abyss, and chief of the demons of the underworld hierarchy, where he is equated with Samael or Satan or Shiva, right? Abaddon is the destroying angel of the apocalypse. Shiva is the destroying angel of the apocalypse. Time to wake up, folks. Today's your wake up. And here's that Revelation 9:11 in the King James Version. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, also Shiva, right? But in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon or Apollo, same person. What does Revelation 9:11 mean? Demons as fallen angels are presumed to have ranks in the same way as loyal angels. Angels and demons, same ranks, right? Satan, sometimes referred to as Lucifer, once held a position near God's throne, but he tried to usurp God's throne and consequently lost his privileged position. I wonder if that's when... No, that would be something different. I was thinking the Tower of Babel. Since his rebellion, he has been called the prince of the power of the air. In Revelation 9:11, we learn about another high-ranking fallen angel. He's called Abaddon in Hebrew, literally meaning destruction, and Apollyon, Greek, literally meaning one who destroys, and that's also Shiva. Both names can be summarized as meaning destroyer. He is the angel of the bottomless pit. You could say that's Satan. You could say that's the devil, and is the king of the demonic locusts. Perhaps his human counterpart is the king of the North Pole, of the North, who leads the invasion into Israel in the middle of the tribulation and leaves a trail of destruction on his path. This is interesting. Satan and Abaddon and all their demons are on a mission to destroy humanity. Shiva and all his demons are on a mission to destroy humanity. You want to know what CERN's about? Read that sentence. That's what it's about. It's not about the God particle. It's about a reset. And we're the reset. Yeah, we've already covered that. And that. Okay, so I don't know what more I can say about CERN. That's a really deep dive. And what we're going to see when CERN was first turned on in 2012, guess what happened? People say nothing. Wrong. That's when we started seeing time loops and Mandela effects. They're ramping CERN up to a level never seen before. And on July 6th, you're going to hear people say, see, nothing happened. But all these time loops are going to start happening. And all these Mandela effects are going to happen. What they're trying to do, these Mandela effects have already brought humanity into the utmost timeline that we can be on right now. They're trying to bring that back out again so they can take as many people with them as they can. So if and when this comes and goes, hopefully, our prayers and our meditations will prevent anything nefarious from happening. But there's still a good chance that there will be time loops and Mandela effects happening at a pace like we've never seen before. So be very cognizant. And this is why they're trying to keep us so distracted with so many other things in this world. Look over here at Johnny Depp and Angela Heard, or whatever her name was. You know, look at this trial. Look at Ghislaine Maxwell, who didn't give any lists of anyone and only got 20 years, right? Keeping us distracted. That's why it's important that we all get together and put that positive energy into preventing anything nefarious happening. Scoop is asking, what is a Mandela effect? Here's a perfect example of one, Scoop. Remember in the Bible where it said the lion lays down with the lamb? Oh, that's what I remember. Apparently it's not that anymore. Now it's the lamb lays down with the wolf. The wolf? Where the hell did this wolf come from? It was never a wolf. It is now. That's a Mandela effect. What you remember is now different. Your reality has changed. There are research that you can find that on N5D. You can do a YouTube search you'll find hundreds of Mandela effects. It's really quite fascinating. And this will be a different initiation into the rabbit hole. You'll be prepared to have your mind blown with Mandela effects. And we're going to probably start seeing more of those coming up. So I mentioned before some of these books. There was a book that popped up. There's a website. Guys, I was on this website. And ladies, guys and ladies, and whatever pronoun you want to call yourself. As far as I'm concerned, it's guys and ladies. And all the rest. Guys, ladies, French fries, Q-tips, whatever you... I'm sorry, I'm not... Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say. That's what I'm sticking with. Ladies and gentlemen, there's this website I want to give you, and I'll put a link below for this as well. I'll put all the links that I've shown you everything on. I will put below right after this broadcast. But there's this wonderful, wonderful website that has a ton of esoteric books and knowledge. It's a free occult library. Let's take a peek at it, and I'll just show you. And then we'll go into the Mayan ET connections. There's more that have been unearthed, and time travelers after that. So, yeah, it's got a lot we're covering today. So thank you for being with us. Once again, please subscribe. Hit the thumbs up. It doesn't cost you a thing. Share this. This is a very important video to share. Please get this video out to as many people as you can. And be sure to hit the bell notification if you are subscribed. And that way, hopefully you'll get notified of future videos. But check out this one website. Free Occult Library, right? So, and you can find this at lightwarriorslegion.com/free-library/free-occult-library. And I got on here and I'm like, wow, that looks cool. And I downloaded that. I downloaded the whole front row. And I scrolled down. I'm like, oh, this looks cool. This looks cool. And I started downloading all down. And I kept scrolling. I'm like, oh my God, there's more. And there's more. And there's more. And more. And more. And more. Look at all this stuff. It's all PDF. So I saved it to my documents. It just keeps going on. Occult psychology. How cool is that? Especially me being, a child and family therapist with a psychology background. Occult science and medicine. I downloaded both of those. Occult phenomena and the light of theology. I downloaded that. I must have downloaded at least 30 of these books, and I'll probably end up downloading all of them. But it's such a wealth of occult knowledge. And occult just means hidden, right? You can learn so much. And not just that, You can do a search, I believe, on this website too. Where is it? Oh, maybe not. I thought you could, but I did do a search elsewhere and found some other additional occult novels and stuff. But let's move on. Okay, so in the last video, I showed you guys this, and it was new photos, artifacts about aliens, evidence of Mayan contact with extraterrestrials. And we went through a ton of pictures that had been released of all these UFOs and gray looking beings. Looks like they're doing a sacrifice on this dude, and these people are praying. But we're seeing like lots of UFOs in this Mayan, these Mayan reliefs and pictures and stelas. You know, here's more UFOs right there. Tons and tons of, and it just goes on and on and on and on. Just lots of like gray looking beings in there. So I actually found more. But wait, there's more. It's like one of those, you know, as seen on TV commercials. But wait, there's more. Yeah. So let's see if we can. I wonder if I can get this in English. Yeah. There we go. Mayan artifacts. So yeah, this one, yeah, a UFO right there, and there's another UFO right here. All sorts of, look at this one. With some, we saw these in the last, on that previous website that I showed you, these beings, they almost have like manted heads, but they have these gray eyes, right? Here comes a spaceship opening up with some kind of beam, perhaps tractor beam or something. And we see the alien eyes here. Look at this thing. And the spaceship up here. And this guy looks like this guy may be praying or meditating. Another spaceship. And that manted head, or an ant, maybe, kind of being. Another spaceship up here. Look at these beings. Look at this. Somebody coming out of the mouth, right? What the hell is that with the UFO right there? Fascinating stuff. If the Mayans didn't have extraterrestrial contact, then why would they have so many of these glyphs and stelas and just pictures and drawings? They definitely had some kind of contact. Did you know that Mayans have an extra vertebrae? They have 33 vertebrae in their systems, in their bodies. Isn't this fascinating? Just lots and lots of more Mayan extraterrestrial contact. Wrong to represent only 3 fingers. Well, maybe that's what their race only has, 3 fingers and 3 toes. Who knows? But wait, there's more. So, yeah, got that. Actually, I could probably just go like this. What's coming out of his mouth? Isn't that freaky? Or is it going into him? Is it becoming him? Who knows? Almost like a demon or an entity invading him? I don't know. And there's another one. So you have this, probably a jaguar with a man inside of that, with this dude coming out of a man or going into a man. I'm not sure. Look at this depiction of a spacesuit. Probably long before spacesuits even existed, right? This triangle-headed being with big gray eyes. Crazy. I think that's it. I think we've seen them all. Yep. Yeah. We are not alone, folks. The Mayans have known that for a long time. Why do you think the Mayans had a calendar? And what do you think their calendar was trying to tell us? Why did CERN get online in 2012? And is it possible that CERN was trying to create these alternate timelines with Mandela effects and everything else to delay the inevitable of what many people thought would happen on December 21st, 2012? So here we are at the end of the great calendar. That's this 25,000, almost 26,000 year calendar of this grand cycle of 5 different cycles of 5,000 some odd years. And here we are at the end of it. And what are they doing? They're trying to F things up for everyone. And that cycle could perhaps have happened on December 21st, 2012. But then they turned CERN on. And of course, here they go again. And is it possible that that's what they're trying to do? Trying to get us to perhaps move away from the timeline that we were supposed to have back in 2012 and perhaps right now, but they're creating more timelines, Mandela effects with CERN, and who knows what else they're going to try to create with that as well. Now, got one last thing I want to cover, and it's about time travel. I had a dream, I think it was back in 2007, where I dreamt that I sent myself back in time to the present time because the Earth wasn't where we needed to be with its awakening. And I needed to basically raise the vibration of the Earth in whatever way I could. So I sent myself back in time, and somebody asks me, "Who are you?" And I said, "I'm a master copy of myself." And I thought that was pretty bizarre, a really unusual thing to say in a dream. Basically I was saying I'm a clone. I'm a master copy of myself. I sent a clone of myself back in time to help raise the vibration of the Earth. I don't know why I didn't send myself, but I've always had this fascination with time travel. There's a link on N5D, the top, I forgot, it might be the top 5 or top 10 time travel movies. I love time travel movies. Obviously, my favorite would be Back to the Future, but Somewhere in Time is another wonderful one that I recommend. There's a number of great time travel movies that you can check out. But I did some research on time travel, and you may have seen some of these. I wasn't familiar with some of these, and I thought I had seen all these different time travel possibilities out there. So, well, the first thing I want to talk about, though, is on N5D. I posted an article, and it's called, "Was There a Time Traveler at the Signing of the Declaration of Independence?" And it's very appropriate, seeing how today, if you're watching this live right now, it's July 4th, our Day of Independence, right? So, and the reason I wrote this was, there was a mysterious unknown man whose passionate words are reminiscent of something someone would say if he was a time traveler trying to prevent future cataclysms, was present at the United States Declaration of Independence debate. And of course, that ended up leading to the Constitution, and then from the Constitution, our Bill of Rights. And none of this would have came into fruition without the Declaration of Independence. And even Ronald Reagan spoke about this unknown person that came in there. The legend says that At a point, a man rose and spoke. He is described as not a young man, but one who had to summon with all his energy for an impassioned plea. And he went on, and that's really well stated. His impassioned plea sounded like somebody that was sent back in time to make sure that all this would happen. The Declaration of Independence, followed by the Constitution, followed by the Bill of Rights. And it's not, if you're watching from a different country, this involves you as well. This is a global template for every country that has tyranny and oppression in it, because we still have our rights and they're getting taken away from us. And that's why this guy passionately came in and spoke these words to make sure that this gets signed, to make sure it all gets ratified, to make sure it becomes into law. The name of this person is unknown, but his message was of vital importance to the future of America, as if a time traveler made sure the Declaration of Independence would be signed on behalf of future generations who would eventually rely on the Bill of Rights to not only save the United States of America, but the world as well, by using this as a template for successful government in conjunction with looking out for the people's best interests. I could definitely envision someone seeing the current corruption of world governments and tracing the saving grace to the Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Rights by time traveling to that point in time to ensure these doctrines come into fruition. Even the levity of the unknown person sounds like something of a time traveler, something a time traveler would say after witnessing New World Order atrocities, such as forcing people to get jabbed with something experimental without any longitudinal studies. Yes, this is purely supposition, but is it possible? Definitely. And when you read the words, you'll probably agree with me. Now, that made me go on a little delve on time travel. And I found this. This is on TikTok. A person that goes by That One Time Traveler. And this is what this person says. So he says he's going to prove that he's a real time traveler, and says, remember the date, 9/19, September 19th, 2022. Something super big happens on this day that changes the world. This will 100% prove to you that I am a real time traveler, just trying to help you all. Now, that doesn't prove anything, but I just found it interesting. Here's something interesting, too. 19 photos that look like time travel. So this chick, does this photo look like something taken by a teenager nowadays, which you normally find on Tumblr? Yeah, it does. This was taken in 1913. The girl's wearing something that looks like a red hoodie. The photograph, it's his daughter, Christina. This is one of the earliest surviving color photographs. And yeah, it does look like something you'd find on Tumblr, right? That was the early 1900s. Here's a woman 85 years ago getting a dragon tattoo on her back. Don't see that nowadays, or back then rather. You see it all the time nowadays. Is this a screenshot from a crappy 70s nature show? No, it's actually the first successful underwater colored photo ever taken in 1926. Here's a picnic on the beach. Could have been last summer. It looks modern enough to be last year, but it's 1913. This is the production line in 2013. This is a long exposure photograph of this man that walked in front of the camera, taken in 1883. Looks like modern art, though, doesn't it? Here's a color composite. Alternators at a hydroelectric power station, taken in 1911. Clarity on that. And I was in Cuba right around that time, about 2015, 2016. No, it might have been 2017. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I took pictures, and yeah, this is exactly what it looks like there. These cars from the 40s and 50s, all over the streets. It's like you're walking in time. Let's see. Look at this dude sitting right here. Spotted in this photo is a guy with long hair wearing a t-shirt and shorts, clearly a time traveler from the 1990s. Why he chose to travel to San Josef Bay in 1917 is still a mystery. Yeah, he does not look like he belongs there, does he? That looks like a time travel. I've seen that one before. Look at this dude. This hipster will tell you he was skateboarding before skateboarding was cool. He's right this time. This is New York City, 1965. I got to show you guys something. Hang on. Let's go here. So yeah, this guy's skateboarding in 65, right? Oh, this is the 1970s. This was my skateboard in the 70s. Not this particular one, but this is what I had. It was California Freeformer. And I told my daughter I used to skateboard. She's like, no. Yeah, I did. Even had a little kicktail on the back. You know, this is in like the beginning of skateboarding. You know, but that was my first skateboard. I also had a skimboard. Which is huge here in Florida now. But yeah, I skimboarded, and I skateboarded when I was a kid. When I was a kid. Wow. So we got some other ones here. I just want to go over real quick too. 1940s beach time traveler. I know it's really busy, but what we're looking at is this dude right here. Kind of looks like he's texting. Here's a close-up of him. Looks like he's got a cell phone or he's texting or something like that. He's holding his hands in that kind of position, which is similar to what Marilyn Monroe's doing in this picture. You know, they're saying that that's a cigarette case, but who holds their cigarette case like that, right? And it looks like she's texting or reading something, right? 1918 newspaper clipping confirms time traveler's death, scientists say. I mean, all this stuff is like so fascinating. Here's that one dude again that we saw in the last one. But do you guys believe in time travel? Do you think it's possible? Do you think have you felt like you've time traveled in this life or a previous life? I'm real curious. Let's check out the comments here real quick. I'm just going to go back a little ways. Right on. Congratulations. You're the ultimate pureblood, because I had to get some when I was, younger. When I think back because I turned 62 in July, so back when I was a kid in the 60s, we had to get like 10 different shots back then. So I got the shots that I had to get. Unfortunately, if I had known now what I know now, I probably wouldn't have done that to my daughter. She got all of her shots, and this was back in the 1990s, like 30 some odd years later, where it was all of a sudden it went from 10 different ones up to 33 at that time, and who knows how much it is right now, right? So interesting. I pretend I'm back 100 years ago. Last reset era, 150 years ago is what. So interesting. You probably had a life back then. My sister has a strong attachment to like the early 1900s. And if you have that kind of attachment to anything, a certain era, chances are you had a life there. I particularly I'm interested in the 50s, but I don't feel like I had an attachment there, because that means I would have had to come back immediately. I was born in 1960, so I think after that last incarnation, I just wanted to spend some time resting, as many of us will want to do after this one. And how many of you are saying, "Hell no, I ain't coming back"? Many of you heard the call and came down to help, and I thank you for that. So coming back again? No, not for me. No, thank you. I know that. I was going to mention too that I tend to come back, at least from what I understand through my past life regressions. I tend to come back at major epochs in time. I was in Atlantis when it was flourishing, and I was a sculptor and a painter, and I made all these beautiful works of art. I was also in Atlantis, and Allie was with me at the end of it, and I was a scientist in charge of the genetic modification of plants, animals, and insects. And I was making hideous creatures, just absolutely horrible, horrible things. And I remember as Atlantis was sinking, and I'm underwater, and I could see some of the hideous creations I created sinking with me, telling myself, we can't let this happen again. We can't let this happen again. With that genetic modification of plants, animals, and insects, it's happening again. It's all happening again. So that was one epoch in time. Had another past life regression where I was a Mayan elder. I was nobody popular, just an old man. And it seemed to be like in the Belize area of South America. And it was during the Spanish Inquisition. And I remember the Spaniards were basically parading through my hometown. They smashed all our artwork and glyphs and everything, and they're pushing Christianity. And they threatened to kill me if I didn't conform to Christianity. So I lied to them, so I could pass on my indigenous knowledge to my children and my grandchildren and great-grandchildren. The irony is that I'm a quarter Spanish, right? And I had a life as a Mayan, a previous life as a Mayan. Talk about dichotomy, right, of emotions. That was another epoch. And so here I am right now with you guys, and I think a lot of us volunteered to come here, to be here at this time, to do what we can. And one of the things we can do is to meditate tomorrow heavily and long to protect our planet, our galaxy, our universe, our multiverse. Send that love and protection out as far as you can. It's huge. We need that. No argument there, Elisa Brittany. When we realize that how history has been changed, and that's going to be the beauty of the future history. You, me, everybody that's watching this, we are going to be the mothers and fathers of the new earth. And that's exciting. That's why a lot of people are panicking. That's why they're trying to open up these gates of hell, proverbial gates of hell, to let these demons in, because they know they can't, they're not lifting with us. They're not ascending with us. They're not moving on to the next stage of spiritual progression. They're getting left behind with the creation that they created. They're trying to bring as many people down as possible that they can. Misery loves company. And that's why they're doing all this shit to try to bring us along with them. And it's not going to happen. We're not falling for it. Got some spammers here. Lisa Brittany, I'm going to kick my own ass for agreeing to incarnate here. Yeah. Well, I know I threw a lot at you, and in like an hour and 40 minutes worth of material. You know, that some of it was fun, like the time traveler stuff, and what we can learn from some of this free occult library information. Some of it's eye-opening. None of it is to fear. Absolutely none of it. You know. And before I sign off, I want to remind you guys that all the shirts at In5D Quantum Tie-Dye are buy 3 get 1 free. Check it out. Use the code LOVEIN5D at in5d.net, and you'll find that code right there. Put it along the bottom right there. Also, stay tuned on Tuesday nights for Allie and me. We do a weekly global forecast where we predict whatever's on the topics of hot topics of interest. So we talk about all those things for that current week. Then we do date night afterwards, where we talk about anything and everything. So everybody's welcome for date night. It's a lot of fun, very interactive with everybody in the chat. And every first Friday of the month, we're going to do a monthly global predictions. And then for our Patreon followers, it's 4:44 right now. Just noticing that right now, 4:44 Eastern. But for our In5D Patreon followers of 555 or more, on Wednesday, in 2 days, Wednesday, July 6th, the first Wednesday of every month, we have our Insiders Club private chat, and we're gonna be doing some uncensored global predictions. Allie and I, and we encourage you guys to join in with us as well. Whoever's there for the In5D Patreon family members of 555 or higher. So that'll be fun, and it will not be televised anywhere. It'll just be that night. I don't record it. If you're there, you get to hear it. Otherwise, nope. So if no one else has told you this yet today, please allow me to be the first. You are loved. You're appreciated. Thank you for your service to humanity. Please like and share this video. It's important that this gets out there to as many people as we can to create this awareness. Until the next time, my name's Gregg from in5d.com and in5d.net, sending you all infinite love and light. Namaste, everyone.